All right, looks like we're live. Hello, everyone, and it is it's December the 25th, 2018. That means it's Christmas Day. So Merry Christmas to those of you that are watching, and specifically to you who's watching this right now. So this is going to be an ongoing series. So this is session 2 or episode 2, whatever you want to call it, of a Tuesday Night Live. We're going to be doing on a regular basis where we explore and discuss many things that help us move forward. And I think one of the questions that comes to me most often is how did you get into coaching, Spencer? As a matter of fact, it was asked today. Spencer, how did you get into coaching? So we're actually going to talk about that, and I'm going to share 3 vital skills that you got to have to be able to move forward. And we're getting ready to go into the New Year's, and these are some very basic yet very specific things we need to know how to do to really excel in whatever it is that you want to do, no matter what area of your life. So we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to share this too. Earlier, I think it was this past week, I'd seen, I was looking on social media, and there was someone had posted a quote, and it said, motivational quotes don't work unless you do. And I absolutely loved it because it essentially distilled into a small phrase exactly what I say on a regular basis to a lot of people, because a lot of people get into the idea about motivation and that kind of thing, and we delude ourselves or give ourselves into a sense of hypnosis, the positivity from our social media feed. But there's a difference between being motivated and watching a motivational thing online and actually having a motivated life. So I'm gonna share with you the 3 skills in just a minute. Before I do that, let me share with you some of the stuff that we're going to be that we're working on right now. So I'm in the middle of writing my real estate program as we go into the new year, and this is not going to be the basic thing that you would hear from most real estate people. And since I have spent since '99 a lot of my time in the real estate business or around it, working with real estate entrepreneurs and so on, this particular material actually would work in any entrepreneurial setup. So we're working through it. That'll be a 9 session program. And I'm actually going to explain a little bit more about that in just a minute when I start talking about how I got into this, how I got into coaching. And then learning, the other thing I'm working on, I wrote this down, learning to slow down in my videos. So my anticipation is that this will probably still only be about a 10-minute or a little over video at the most. And yet I want to make sure that I slow down. Last week's episode, I was so jacked up and excited that I just kept on and was like moving and talking and going and going and going. And I need to slow it down a minute. I need to slow it down a notch, right? But you'll still feel the intensity. That's probably one of the adjectives a lot of people like to use. So before I get into all that stuff, if you guys get some cool stuff for Christmas, check this out. One of my daughters gave me this one because she knows I like twigs. And my wife gave me kisses. Aw, isn't that cute? I got a whole friggin' bag of candy. Did you guys get some candy? I even got coal. Anyway, oh man, I got a whole bag of stuff. My mother always gives me a Pandora, and this year it was a small one. She has the bigger one that we're going to have at her house, but it's an Italian thing. You know about me and my family. My mother and that whole side of the family is all over in Italy, except for my mother. My mother's here. She's actually a naturalized citizen. I'm very proud of that here in the U.S. So, but anyway, we're going to move on. Let's get into this. Here's what I noticed. It was asked of me today, as a matter of fact, Christmas. Somebody asked me today, how'd you, what is coaching, and how did you get into this? Like, how did you get started with this? And I was put on the spot, and it gave me a really good thing this is what I intended to talk about today, but it gave me a moment to really think about it fast. So I initially got started training and teaching real estate agents, and I was even brought into companies at times to help set up systems and do that kind of thing. And I would bring the information. It's the same stuff that we shared with everybody. And the funny thing was, it's the same phenomenon that I talk about in one of our programs. It's the phenomenon where 2 people could hear the exact same thing. One would run with it, the other one didn't. meaning one would take it and do exactly what we're talking about, duplicate the system and maybe even improve on it and create huge results. And then I had others who didn't. And what I found out is, or what drove me into the coaching arena, is that what to do is something that's very common and very easy to figure out. If anything, we're overloaded with the amount of information of what to do. You guys, I bet you right now you have a list of things that you know you should be doing, right? We all do. We got lists all over the place. I'm sitting at my desk here. I should do this. I should work on this. I should work on that. And we have all these ideas of things we could be doing. And for the most part, most people just don't do it. So how do we take someone from conversations and put them into action? How do we go from being motivated to activated? And that's really what the coaching conversation is all about. So when I was asked the question today, how did you get into coaching? Well, the simple answer is this. I started doing business, essentially consulting, teaching people how to do it. And then, because they wanted to know how we were doing it. We had a team. I had 6 buyer's agents, 2 admins, all that jazz. They wanted to know how we did it. Well, that's not that hard to do. Let me just show you how we did it. What I found, though, is that when people weren't actually taking the action, I had to dig in and find out what it was that actually got them moving forward. So I became very obsessed with digging in and learning all the inner workings of what got people into action. And that's what coaching comes to. So then this person asked me, he said, well, are you saying then that you could help with organizing life? Like, I just feel like everything's all over the place. Is that what you do? Maybe. Maybe you don't need a new organized life. Maybe you just need, maybe we just need to take what works for you and apply it into your own life. So there's 3 specific skills I'm going to share with you right now that will help you if you spend some time really thinking about it. So number 1, focus. We live in a stimulated environment. I think my phone told me the other day I got 172 notifications per day on average. That's a lot of notifications. Between email, social media, and all the different things, that's a lot of notification. How do we create focus, right? Or how do we change it? So the fast answer to that is asking the right questions. And one of the things you can do to really stop and ask yourself, if you're finding your focus all over the place, ask yourself, what should I be focused on right now? And then what does that do for me? So ask questions that create or change the focus on where you think it needs to be. This is some of the stuff that we talk about and we get into a lot of depth with in our programs. I'm just giving you the extreme surface level conversation. So focus. Number 2, what do things mean? I go into a lot of detail with this stuff in different programs, but I will tell you this. The same thing can happen to 2 different people, and those 2 people will have a totally different response as to what it means. And the meaning you attach to things is exactly the meaning that it is to you, which means you have a choice. So if you have a choice on what things mean, then that means you have an opportunity to adjust how you feel, right? So focus, I call it framing. So how you, the meaning you give things. And then the third thing is your actions. You get to choose. So that's your choice and what you choose to do. So that's going to be a little bit more of a discipline, and I hesitate to use the word will, because the will is going to come from your focus and meaning. I will tell you, though, that those 3 things, what you choose to focus on, what you choose to make things mean, and what you choose to do, those are 3 things you're going to need to think about as we go into the new year, because those are the 3 things I can tell you right now is going to determine 2019 for you. So I can tell you right now, our focus is to build Spencer Combs resources so that we have a community for people like you to be involved and get in and learn and radically change the direction of your life, because that's what we do. I love watching people have breakthroughs. That's what we do. Love it. Love it. Especially when I get to do a breakthrough session with someone where we spend an afternoon and really dig in and change the entire wiring. Oh yeah, that's magnificent stuff. But anyway, I'm going to let that go. But right now, I just want you to know, focus, framing, and you can call it physiology, but really that's just me trying to be alliterated, right? Even though it's not an F, it's a P. But focus, framing, and action. What are you doing? All right. Take that as you get prepared for next week. Next week will be New Year's Day when we do this. So it'll be episode 3, and we'll pick up from there. If you guys got any questions, you want to drop something in the comments here, feel free to do that. I know a lot of you are celebrating with your families and doing things that you enjoy doing on Christmas evening. Enjoy your time. Once you watch this video, though, if you got questions, you want something to, want to run something by us, feel free to drop it in the notes here, and we'll be glad to respond and do our best to help you out. Okay? So if there's anything else you need from us, feel free. Until next week, you guys keep well and keep moving forward.